What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have got an episode of Chicago Bulls Weekly to provide for you guys ahead of our upcoming week for the Chicago Bulls, which seems to be a fairly light week considering we are out of the in-season tournament, as well as looking at the Chicago Bulls previous week and how it might have not been as bad as some people may perceive. We've had some beatdowns in those weeks, but we also stood up tall towards the end of the week, which is something we don't often see from the Chicago Bulls. This might actually be, controversially at least, the best Chicago Bulls weekly result we have seen this entire season, which is phenomenal. But we'll discuss all that and more in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their previous week, their upcoming week, and the awards given throughout the week. Now, we ended up having 4 games this week for the Chicago Bulls and a neutral result. Astonishingly enough, it's not a negative result. We went 2-2 this week. 2 late wins for the Chicago Bulls and 2 brutal losses throughout the course of the week as well. So, again, definitely, I guess, a different side of the Chicago Bulls in the last week compared to the last two games, compared to the first 2 games. And we're going to quickly dive into how that may be. So the first game was against the Brooklyn Nets, which we lost this game 118 to 109. Look, considering how bad the Bulls have been throughout the course of these games, it's actually kind of hard to really remember what actually took place in this game. But again, it was kind of a game where Brooklyn took advantages of the defensive work of the Chicago Bulls. This was the game where we put pick and roll coverages, we switched all of our pick and rolls, and we allowed Spencer Dinwiddie and other guys to kind of cook our centers, especially Nikola Vucevic out from the perimeter. And it was one of the worst games I've seen from a Chicago Bulls team in terms of, I guess, how they were able to approach a defensive lineup. Apparently, this Bulls team is supposed to play drop coverage defense, where in this entire week, we have proven this is not what we've seen. We are allowing Nikola Vucevic to be out on an island against these guys, these mismatches. We even saw it in the win against the Pelicans with Zion Williamson. We allow guys like Kobe White to switch on to guys like Zion Williamson. We allow that all the time. And again, it kind of goes to show how disappointing the Chicago Bulls was in that game, but how poor our defensive work is. We often consider our defensive work the best, one of the best in the league. We were top 5 in the defensive work last year. I don't know what we are this year. I don't have the stats behind me to prove that, but that game specifically showed how poor our defense can be at times. And the Celtics game right afterwards is pretty much the exact same thing. We got absolutely beaten down in this game. We lost 124 to 97. Again, the Chicago Bulls massively disappoint in a game of basketball. This game was downright brutal to watch. Again, the watch along, it's there somewhere on the channel, and I didn't even want to watch this game anymore. I was kind of just zoned out of the entire game completely because we were just getting destroyed in every aspect of the game. From the bad start to the bad third quarters, the bad fourth quarter, the Boston Celtics piling up the score because point differential matters in the in-season tournament. We just got beaten down and punched in the mouth repeatedly. You know when you say that you get punched in the mouth and you have to take it and stuff like that, you get sucker punch in the mouth. This wasn't even a sucker punch. This was like a UFC bout that ended in the first round. We just get constantly beaten and destroyed and battered and bruised until they have to stop the fight, until the fight is physically no longer able to continue. That's how I felt when I was watching the Chicago Bulls get dismantled by the Boston Celtics. But you know what they're saying, man? It's hard. It's hard to get punched in the mouth and just keep on taking it. Eventually, you're going to have to fight back, stand up for yourself, and try to change the narrative and perception of the Chicago Bulls. Now, I don't know the reason why this ended up happening the way that it did, but the Bulls responded really, really well in the last 2 games of the week. With the first game being against the Milwaukee Bucks, we won this in an overtime fashion, 120 to 113. A very positive game all the way around. The first game we saw no Zach LaVine and no DeMar DeRozan, and no one expected the Bulls to win this game. Not one person expected the Bulls to win, but team effort, strong defensive work, good hustle, rebounding battle won, assist battle won, you win games. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. Now, I'm not trying to say the game of basketball is just massively basic. Maybe some people could view it as that. I'm not going to say basketball is basic. There's a reason why there's coaching. There's a reason why you look at every single team and they play differently towards each other. It's not a basic game by any stretch of the means. But at the end of the day, when you have those things, when you work hard in a game, you're most likely A, going to be in that game, B, deliver a good performance, and C, probably win that game as well. You do win a lot of games by working hard. And we saw that against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, granted, Milwaukee had some coaching issues there that could be exploited, and they're very, very upset about that. In all fairness, from that game, but we took advantage of that. Again, that's not our issue to deal with. The Bulls picked up a win from sheer work ethic and being able to make some big shots when it mattered the most. And then the Pelicans game was so fun. We won this game 124 to 118. Again, two valiant teams giving their absolute all on the court. And the Bulls really fighting tooth and nail with the Pelicans as well. Another team that's bigger than the Chicago Bulls, Valanciunas, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, a very big team in every sense of the word. And the Bulls fought in this game as well. Won the rebounding battle, won the assist battle, continued to battle, and Kobe White delivered a great performance. DeMar DeRozan returned in this game and didn't take away from the performance. It was really a great sight to see. So those are the games for the Chicago Bulls. Now let's swiftly move on into the individual performances from this Bulls team. And the must improve is a very difficult one to give because, again, two really poor games, two really bright games for the Chicago Bulls. How can anyone in their right mind truly pick a must improve? Look, I'm going to say this is actually going to be controversial. The must improve is Zach LaVine. Now, Zach LaVine didn't play in the last two games, but that must improve is for Zach LaVine because we had our two best performances without Zach LaVine. A lot of people want to see Zach LaVine, I guess, as the only victim of the Chicago Bulls. He's the only fault in this Bulls team, which we all know for a fact isn't true, but we'd like to believe otherwise. Zach LaVine at the moment has to match this energy. Has to match the structure of play, has to match the energy and the work ethic of the Chicago Bulls team. And if he can't do that, then he should not be playing. It's as simple as that. We've seen the blueprint, I guess you could say. We've seen how good this Bulls team can play when they're moving the ball, when the assist numbers are increasing, when we're winning rebounding battles, or when we're defending like a team. We've seen all these things really work, and we could potentially see that work in the upcoming week as well. But Zach LaVine is the must improve because once he steps foot on the court for the Chicago Bulls again, which I truly believe will happen, he has to match that. It's as simple as that. Get your 20, get your 30, get your 50 points all you want. Match the same energy as everybody else on the court. The game is not always about scoring. Getting other people involved is a huge part of the game. Being able to play in a system like we did in those two games is a huge part of the game. We saw DeMar DeRozan can do it. Hopefully he can do it consistently. But Zach LaVine is my must improve because he is the next guy that has to match that until he gets traded. Once he gets traded, he can do whatever he wants. But once he's still with the Bulls, which he is, he has to match that type of energy. Simple as that. There we go. The sixth man of the week. Well, I would assume it started a lot of the games. Torrey Craig, I don't think started any of the games. Caruso started a couple of games. I think my sixth man of the week will go to Andre Drummond. Again, a phenomenal week for Andre Drummond in total. Got a couple of double-doubles in there. Really made a big impact and played extended minutes for a lot of these games. Fair play to him. Outside of the Hacker Drummond type of situation with Boston, I really thought he played well. The defensive player of the week, actually, shout out to this guy. It's going to be Kobe White. I know it's so easy to give it to Caruso. Caruso's a phenomenal defender, but Kobe White, I feel like, has gotten extremely underrated on the defensive end. The amount of charges this guy takes per game, the amount of effort he puts into every defensive lineup he is in, I've got to give him respect in that department. And he's also my player of the week for the exact same reasons. Just add the offensive side of the ball for Kobe White. I mean, just look at the stats of Kobe White this week. You can clearly see why he's the player of the week. The last game against the Pelicans was phenomenal. The last game against the Bucks was phenomenal. The game against the Brooklyn Nets, he had a great game. And Boston, he wasn't too shabby as well. So that's all the awards given for the Chicago Bulls this week, and actually rightfully deserved in my eyes. Now, the next two games for the Chicago Bulls will only be what we see next week. And those two games are because the teams are out of the in-season tournament. The first game is against the Charlotte Hornets at home, a winnable game, no LaMelo Ball. The team is struggling right now, the Charlotte Hornets. Again, with the way that we have been playing in these last two, I do expect the Bulls to win this game. Then we get to see our first opportunity of Victor Wembanyama as we face the San Antonio Spurs away from home. Now, Coach Popovich always brings problems to the Chicago Bulls. No matter which lineup is out there for this Chicago Bulls team, the San Antonio Spurs are going to bring us a problem. It's as simple as that. Not to mention, again, it's going to be exciting time to kind of see firsthand how Victor Wembanyama will look, I guess, in his first season and the rest of the seasons to come. He looks to be a very threatening player. But what do you guys think? That's going to be it from me. I'm predicting look, I know it's very good to be on a positive. I'm predicting a 1-1. I think we'll win one and lose one. I know we like to be on a high, but again, let's be realistic. The Chicago Bulls team still has problems, and I don't think we're going to win every game just because we're playing our young guys. It's as simple as that. But what do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.